San Antonio cop punches and does abuse with a man that says he has a gun. Let me see if I can get some context here. Shout out to police activity. Happened in San Antonio, Texas yesterday.
Oh yeah, this one's super short.
Let's see if we can get some context. Officers contacted an individual of whom on a bicycle who matched the description of a suspect in the for what? I want to know why. They just say a location.
What's
Oh,
the?
they had a confidential source that an individual was suspected of robbing stores,
Okay.
and that this person had multiple warrants in that area. So they found this guy. I guess there was a CIs or a confidential informant. It's a rat. Just know that's exactly what it is. Gave them information that this guy on the bicycle was this person that was robbing stores and had multiple warrants. Reached towards his waistband after saying that he had a firearm. He did not have a firearm, and he was wanted for multiple burglaries. Shout out to them. At least it wasn't bullshit.
What's your name?
What's your name, sir? Because I'm gonna talk to you. I need to talk to you.
Hang on. Not in detention. It would be doing what's called an investigative stop. Doing it off of a third person is, I don't want to say sus, but it's very weak legal grounds to sit there and say I have somebody that gave me a complaint and says that you're supposed to be a person that's got warrants without being able to verify that a detention would be semi-hard. I'd be curious to see if they do better than that on actually trying to enforce a detention. If you can do an investigative stop, but you need really, really good, you better hope that confidential informant's willing to go get subpoenaed into court and actually show up. Because if not, this whole thing falls apart.
What's your name?
Why does that matter, bro? You don't have no reason to pull me over.
You're riding your bike the wrong way on the road.
Oh, I just crossed.
This guy,
Oh
he says you're riding your bike on the wrong way of the road.
In a roadway levels of petty.
Shout out. Hey, but he went through the trouble of at least finding a reason to detain. He didn't say because I said so I give him a pass. He better be able to actually articulate that offense. But
Cross the street, sir.
Yeah, but you gotta follow.
Where I gotta cross? Tell me where I gotta cross.
Technically, if you're crossing a roadway, you have to wait till there's a crosswalk. In Texas, jaywalking is not enforceable unless it's within, I think it's 100 or 200 feet of a intersection. So that's a pretty weak sauce detention, to be 100% honest. No crime, no ID, no accountability. Jesus. Yeah, I don't know about the stop. He is talking to the guy, but that's a pretty weak. At least in Texas, this would be. You'd have a really hard. This is in San Antonio, so technically, this is the same code. Unless
they're having a really great week in San Antonio with the other guy.
They're not doing great this week. Yeah, they're not doing great this week. But yeah, you can only charge somebody with jaywalking if they're crossing and there's an available crosswalk. Now, what you would probably get this guy on is like he doesn't have a light on the front of his bicycle, which you need. It technically only matters in the daytime or at nighttime because obviously you have to have it. But having like reflectors on the bike and stuff, there's a couple of different things because if you're going to operate on the roadway, you operate on the same rules that a motor vehicle. Obviously, you can't go the speed limit in certain places, but in the places where you couldn't physically go the speed limit, you're prohibited from being on a bicycle. This looks like a standard city street, so it'd be like 35 miles per hour, probably the speed limit, or 30. He would be allowed to be in the lane of traffic, operating, but he'd have to have reflective devices and stuff like that. He would have to go in the direction of traffic, so he can't go against the grain. And again, you could stop somebody as a moving violation that way, but like, I'd be curious to see if they said you crossed or if you were operating on the wrong side. That would kind of be where this discussion would happen. Shout out, this is only robbers for a little while. I'm advocating as an attorney. And again, it's because we're trying to, I still believe in protecting people's constitutional liberties here. And unless they have a stop, they really shouldn't be talking.
There's a somewhere you gotta cross.
He does, however, have warrants for robbery or for burglary, which is even worse than robbery in my personal opinion, because it means you broke into somebody's home to go steal their stuff. He's got multiple warrants for that, which you really have to earn. He probably was robbed.
Do I gotta go all the way to a corner?
All right, you gonna ID or you're gonna go in?
Now they don't know that yet, though.
Nah, we're not. We're gonna. Yeah, too hard. Oh, I got a gun. I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna shoot you.
Confused it.
There's a second eagle. This is the
I guess
backup
the
officer
female
that was in
officer?
the.
Oh, she pulled the car around.
Yeah, she was the one that was behind. I think that we could see. Yeah.
Stop! Shots fired.
Yeah, I mean, if you say you have a gun and that you're going to shoot him, you don't do that to a cop. Like, even if they didn't have a detention, that's stupid. They didn't have a detention. In my personal opinion, not having the detention, or this is a pretty weak detention at best. However, he super flex himself by, even if they don't, right? And let's say that the jury finds, or that the DA's like, well, fuck it, these guys don't have a detention, they don't have whatever. The second this guy says, fuck you, I'm going to shoot you, I have a gun, like, that's effectively terroristic threat. And then doing a furtive movement, even as a civilian, technically. If you're walking by and minding your own damn business or whatever, and some guy yells at you, I have a fucking gun, and pulls from your waistband, I mean, you don't have body cam, which is going to make that real
prove that
sus.
real easily, but
Yeah, good luck proving it. But, like, yeah, don't. I totally get in this instance where this guy's probably really salty that he's getting detained, because that's pretty weak detention. But don't fake like you have a gun. Now, he would have gone to prison for the burglary warrants, which is probably not what he wanted to do. But that being said, just make sure that you got really like rock solid detention and articulate it right off the bat if you haven't. When they first pulled up, the female officer said, "Well, we just got to talk to you." That's not a detention. That's a consent stop. That's what that is, and they have every right to walk away. And then later on, they're articulating this whole, well, you were in the roadway the wrong way. Don't do that shit, because the only reason I'm allowed to have this discussion, and I have to be team robber on this one. That being said, he's probably robbing people, and don't do that shit.
I guess we're only burglars now.
We're only burglars now. Boom 11.
Hey, Boom 11, what's up?
Boom. He said, "What's up, ladies?" Yes, shout out to the tattoo policy. They didn't know he had warrants. Agreed. They did. You don't know until you get the guy ID'd. You can't confirm. You can't confirm just by looking at the guy that he's got warrants. That's not how that works. And that's really why I have an issue with the detention. Even someone saying the guy's got warrants, right? Like, that's not PC enough for an investigative stop of my person. This guy tells me to pound sand, deuces, he's out. I'd be real curious to see how this plays out in the court of law. I'm not making that detention. I'll tell you that right now. That's just me. San Antonio, stop taking L's.